See how your life can change in a split second.
A model's life was forever transformed by a Pitbull attack. But what happened next? Meet Brooklin Khoury, a 24-year-old model and pro-skateboarder from sunny California. Her career was on the rise, with a recent feature in the prestigious Vogue magazine celebrating female skateboarders and a TV commercial gig just a day away. But then, everything changed in a heartbeat. A Pitbull, a pet belonging to a relative, set upon her in a terrifying attack. The ferocity was unimaginable, the dog shaking her head like a child's chew toy for a gruesome 30 seconds.
So it was November 3rd of 2020. I was at my cousin's house in Arizona. The dog that attacked me I'd met plenty times before. I was standing up completely straight, he was sitting down, and I turned to look at my cousin and I turned back and he sprung off the ground and attached his whole body weight. He was basically just like hanging on all fours on my upper lip. He started pulling my head like a chew toy, like going back and forth. When he released, I saw something fling and hit the wall and fall down. I stood up and I was like, wow, this is the biggest breath of fresh air I've ever taken in my life. I didn't realize that the dog had taken off my whole upper lip. I went into the bathroom and I kind of grabbed the sink and I looked up. I just looked like a skeleton.
The damage was devastating, her entire upper lip torn off, part of her nose destroyed. Brooklyn didn't realize the full extent of the horror until she managed to escape to the bathroom. Looking into the mirror, she saw not the promising model, but a skeleton staring back.
The first stage, I did not have a lip at all. I had no skin from here or up my nose. I hid my face with tape. I wasn't really ready to go out and get a lot of weird looks because I was already feeling kind of not super in love with what I was seeing with myself. I searched for a doctor for a full year.
This was only the beginning. With her face ravaged, Brooklyn faced a long and painful journey to recovery. The road ahead was not merely a physical one, but also a journey of self-discovery and transformation. It was a path less traveled, paved with scalpel blades and sutures and lined with the echoes of a surgeon's steady hand, reconstructing not just a face, but a life. The surgical procedures she underwent were no walk in the park. They were complex, intricate, and required an almost artistic precision.
The second stage was taking the skin from my wrist and using that skin here. It did help my eating process a lot more. It helped my communication. From that second stage, it was just like debulking and shaping and creating. And my doctor literally described me as like an art project of how to like mold and move and just form the skin to like what he wanted it to look like. Definitely a few things that we still need to do. I have to tattoo the upper lip. There's color red vermilion on my bottom lip, so we're gonna try to match it on the top.
The damage was so severe that her surgeon likened the reconstructive effort to an art project. It was as if he were molding clay, but this clay was skin taken from her wrist, carefully placed just below her partially destroyed nose. The pain was inevitable, as were the numerous procedures she had to endure, but with each operation her face began to take form, like a sculpture slowly emerging from a block of marble. It was a painful metamorphosis, one that saw her endure not just the physical agony, but also the emotional torment of seeing a stranger in the mirror.
The response has been so overwhelming, and honestly, I think it's helped so much with my healing process as well. Just knowing that I'm not the only one that is going through something similar, or I recognize or see people that can relate to me. It's just very powerful. The internet is beautiful in that way.
Yet, amidst the pain and the challenges, something began to shift within Brooklyn. As her face began to heal, so too did her perception of beauty. The physical perfection she once sought seemed less important, replaced by a deeper, more profound understanding. The mirror no longer reflected just her physical appearance, it reflected her resilience, her strength, her courage.
And I think there's also a very bad side to social media where there are people that sit behind screens and say what they want and make fun of you, and you will read those and internalize them and think about it, and it does, I think, break you down.
She began to see past the scars, past the reconstructed nose, past the newly formed lip. She saw a survivor staring back at her. She saw a woman who had faced the jaws of a pit bull and emerged stronger, wiser, more beautiful. She saw herself not just for what she looked like, but for who she had become. She began to see herself not as a victim, but as a survivor. And in the mirror, she found a new kind of beauty. More than 3 years have passed since the attack, and Brooklyn, she's not just surviving, she's thriving. Our journey brings us to Brooklyn's transformation, not just physically, but emotionally. Her story is not one of tragedy, but of resilience and redefining beauty. She's not striving for physical perfection, but embracing the imperfections that make her unique, her scars, a testament to her strength. In the aftermath, Brooklyn found solace and support online, sharing her story with the world on social media. My family, my friends needed to be in my life for a reason, to help me realize there's so much more to beauty than what meets the eye, she declared.
Definitely my family, my friends, just everyone around me that was in my life needed to be in my life for a reason, to help me to realize like there's so much more to beauty than like what just meets the eye, just inside out, like learning to love yourself regardless of what that looks like, and genuinely realizing that like your imperfections are what makes a person them. I think it's really important for anybody watching my story or anyone seeing my videos to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be able to love what you see, because you are the person that you need at the end of the day for yourself.
Her courage resonated, garnering over 1 million followers. Her journey, a beacon of hope, inspiring others to find beauty beyond the mirror. Through her trials, Brooklyn discovered a profound truth. In her own words, life is beautiful. And Brooklin Khoury, scarred yet radiant, is living proof of that.
Just learning to accept yourself and knowing that like your imperfections is what makes you beautiful.